Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fabulous and fantastic Ask an Engineer. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the resident engineer. So yeah, you just gotta deal with me. And with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control and
That's right.
doing all sorts of
I'll
IRC
be doing
chat,
tweeting,
typey thingies.
I'll be controlling the show, and we'll be going over a lot of cool things tonight. Man, the show and tell is massive. We'll talk about that in just a second.
We had actually a larger than ever, this is the largest ever show and tell.
Yeah.
Because we had 11 people.
Yeah, it was massive. Okay.
Massive. Okay.
On tonight's show, the code is GORDS. You'll see why very soon.
Oh, gorgeous people.
GORDS, GORDS, GORDS. Talk about the show and tell, an epic show and tell with tons of projects and more. We'll have some news from the world of open source hardware, including a new event that we are about to do. It's going to be super cool. We'll be going over the Hackaday contest. This was the trinket contest. There was tons of entries. They were amazing. You'll see them here, and tons of winners. Pack and Mailbag's going to stop by with the mailbag. We're going to have some things from the Adafruit Learning System. We're going to have Time Travel Tuesday. Have a little bit of 3D Thursday. A little bit of Wearable Wednesday. We'll go out of order. That's okay. Doesn't matter.
Hey, we like that.
I'm like Bob Ross over here. It's a little painting. Happy little logos. Here's Friday's Pi Day.
Pi Day.
We're going to have new products. Might have something top secret. We're going to answer your questions. We have a trivia question. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
And we're using the new fabulous HD camera. So
Yeah.
we look extra lovely.
Yeah.
And we've got the new Wirecast, so we're super fancy down here too.
Yeah.
We're like super upgraded. We've got like mics, cameras, monitors,
Yeah.
lower thirds.
Yeah, and we're broadcasting
Mugs.
live on Ustream and YouTube, and this is also recorded.
We've pretty much sold out.
What?
Well, they're $5 mugs.
It's only our logo.
We sold that to ourselves.
People have asked to sponsor the show and do things and have their logos, and we just said we can't. We can't.
Brought to you by Electrons.
Yeah. All right. So let's pay some bills. Speaking of, the code is GORD, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store that's in stock. This
Including
expires
gourds.
at 11.
Pumpkins.
We don't sell
squat.
gourds.
We don't have any?
We don't sell gourds, so we can't promise that.
Okay, well, any of the electronic components that you could possibly fit onto a gourd or inside of a gourd, it's fall. I'm drinking apple cider.
Yeah. So use the code. It expires tonight at 11:59 p.m., so use it right away. Okay, first up, we have the show and tell. The show and tell is something we do every single week. Anyone can go on our Google Plus page and say they want to be on the show and tell and show their projects. We have hundreds of people who do this now, and it's fantastic. Tonight was a record night. We had 11 people all together. 10 is the max, but then someone, when they were finished, they dropped out and someone came in.
It's like how it's made, but with like faces.
Yeah, and what's cool is it's around the world. People of
Yeah.
all ages, all skill levels, and everyone comes together and shows off the stuff. So, Lady, while I go to the chat room over here, read off what was in this.
You go over to the chat room.
Read off what was in this crazy
All
show
right,
and tell.
so Tony DeCola showed up with more CC3000 hacking, this time using digital LEDs with WebSockets to control them via a web browser on his tablet, which is kind of neat because it's like the web browser was the website was hosted on the CC3000, so like no server software is required. It's kind of the way to go. Richard and Emil showed up and they worked together on a really cool Flora costume. Fortunately, I didn't understand which character that the Flora costume was for, but it was some show or game or something where a character has a rainbow costume and she was it. Not Rainbow Bright, that's like my childhood. Something way cooler than Rainbow Bright, just not hard actually. Dino showed up again with his robot. This time the robot has a BeagleBone Black. It has internet connectivity. It has like better photo taking ability, and it's altogether more awesome. So the Dino bot strikes again. Gabriel showed up with an oscilloscope watch that he built, and he has a Kickstarter for, so he's making oscilloscope watches, oscilloscope pocket watches, oscilloscope hand soap. I don't know. It's all oscilloscope at Gabriel's house. Aaron showed up with a cool display digit from the Apollo like countdown space timer thing, and it's kind of neat. It had like this heat sinks, and he originally it didn't come with the incandescent bulbs that the original digit came with. So he built his own controller with a trinket and a bunch of LEDs, and he made his own little like 7-segment counter. And it was kind of cool actually. It was neat the way they did it. And you could tell that this like single 7-segment digit was like took 8 hours of somebody's machining time and probably cost like $300.
Yeah.
Because like, this is all they had. They didn't have LEDs.
The
7 segment.
The trinket-powered Apollo display
Yeah, it's cool.
was amazing because as you were talking about in the show and tell, and this is all recorded, you can watch it on Adafruit.com, youtube.com/Adafruit. What's cool is you were talking about with Aaron, the maker, the trinket has more capability than probably what got people to the moon.
Yeah, we were saying that it's kind of interesting. Is like
And we sell this thing for $7.95 now.
the computers that were in the Apollo space program, I believe that they were. I don't even know that they were 8-bit. They might have even been 4-bit processors, and I don't believe that they ran faster than 1 megahertz. I think that they were quite slow. The Trinket actually has the same processing capability, the speed, and bit width, I believe, of like a Mac 512K. Is the same as a Trinket.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have as much. Like, it doesn't have the ROM because, like, that's what was really important. But if it had more pins, yeah, basically you could run everything on a Mac. You just need like some more background capability, which is kind of interesting. I mean, like, it's neat how like eventually we're gonna have like a microcontroller for 50 cents that can do what like an iPhone can do now.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, it's all good stuff.
I always thought it'd be neat to have like a pocket. A Deep Blue.
Yeah, you always want to go into those.
Yeah, because I think we could probably virtualize it, and
You're still fighting with them to get the source code released.
Yeah, I want every year I ask IBM to release the source code for Deep Blue and also show all the chess moves when it beat Kasparov.
Yeah, you're one of those people. Okay.
No, I just have one rule. If you make a machine that beats humans, you have to open source it. You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
how are we gonna improve?
Otherwise, what team are you on?
They're done on Team Human.
Yeah, so, okay.
Okay, so I got distracted. Okay, so Michael came back, showed off his RC car that he's working on. This RC car needs a little bit more current, but he's working on it. Amish showed up with a Pi video synth, so he's using the Pi as part of a video synthesizer, so he's using Ableton Live, and then UDP over Ethernet to control the Pi, but he says there's too much latency, so we got to figure out what's up with that. I don't know exactly what's up with that, but hopefully you'll figure it out. Robert showed up a really cool project. He made a robot arm that uses our analog feedback servos. Our analog feedback servos are servos that you can program them with motion, and then they'll repeat that motion, which is exactly what I designed them for, is to be using robot arms. Because like the problem when you have a robot arm or a robot like hexapod or something is it's very hard to figure out what motions you want the servos to do to create the motion you want, because our brains don't think like that. We don't think reverse kinematics. We think like, I'm going to go pick up that thing and your arm just goes there. Yeah. So this actually lets you program in the motion, which is really cool. Anyways, check it out.
What I liked is he kind of based it on the Baxter. So we actually saw one of the Baxter robots.
Yeah, I saw the Baxter.
And one of the things about the Baxter is you press a button, or you just hold its arms actually, and you have it go through a motion, and that's what's recording, and then it kind of plays back. And it also has a vision system that will help navigate that motion to pick something up and move something.
Yeah.
And so that's really neat. We're going to try to get that as a tutorial so you can use the feedback servos so you can make your own miniature Baxter.
Okay, then we had Not Vicky, who we're trying to call Vicky because that's what the account was called.
Yeah.
And he had a video Pong shirt with the Arduino Mega and a LED strip, and it was Pong on a shirt.
He could play Pong on his shirt.
He could play Pong, and he had a little controller, so you could play Pong against him.
Yeah. I'm going to call it now. The future of video gaming is you're just going to wear the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, though, because other people have to play on you. You're the game field.
Yeah, but, Portal's an easy one. Because you're going to be, just put stuff here and it'll come out the back or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, Grandmaster Chris came back for after a big tour in Japan. I don't know where he went, but he came back for a reunion tour and showed off his cool water-cooled tower PC with a router. Yeah. And it has an Arduino that controls the water cooling, and it's cool.
Yeah. So that is the show and tell, Lady Ada.
Okay.
You know what you got to do? You got to tell everybody, how do they get on the show and tell?
Okay, getting on the show and tell is easy. Go to plus.google.com /+Adafruit and go to the Google Plus page where we say, hey, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. We'll add you to that show and tell circle that you see over here, and you'll be one of the 276 people who get invited every week to
Actually, 300 now.
Well, okay, but the photo hasn't changed.
There's a lot of people.
And then you'll get invited to show off your project any week.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think every week when you do the notes, I'm going to make the art, when you talk about how to do it, I'm going to make a little paper airplane, and
Okay.
I'm going to fly it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next up, just a reminder, the code is GORDS, 10% off everything in stock in the Adafruit store. Some open source hardware news.
Gourds.
Yeah, open source hardware news this week. So,
Open source gourds.
people out there who like our shows, who want more, you've asked for it, we're doing more shows. So, on Tuesday
More
night,
entertaining.
Tuesday night at 7 p.m., we have our first ever hardware hangout with Adafruit, and this is going to be a hangout on air. So all you need to do is go to the Google Plus page, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, and the first guest we're going to have is Mark Barros. Mark Barros was the founder of Contour Camera, and I think in his own words he'll say GoPro just completely annihilated them.
Which is actually a great story.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot.
Now he's writing business articles and talking about all the things that he learned. So he has a series of articles that I think, I used to write maker business articles on Make, and I tried to write them at Adafruit, but running an Adafruit takes up a lot of the time of the universe right now. So I try to find great people that can write the stuff that I'd like to see on the site, or if I could get to it.
He wrote like a 30-part article.
He did. So it's know your why, which is really important. Have a purpose, picking your co-founders, finding the right market, minimum viable product, he calls it MVP, picking your product, creating your brand, picking the brand name, picking the right supplier, deciding to crowdfund, life after crowdfunding, building retail distribution, the cost of retail, building brand awareness, poor quality can kill you, hardware startup metrics. This is all stuff we're going to go over. And he has a hardware event in California where if you want to start a hardware company, you can go there.
Is that with PCH or was that with the Highway 1 thing? Or
no, this is just
This is
a hardware workshop. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't even keep track. There's like 5,000 hardware accelerators
Yeah.
now.
So that's the hardware hangout. It's going to be Lady Ada, me, and Mark Barros, and probably once a month. This one is one of the ones because when you're running a company or if you're a founder, it's always hard to be on a schedule because things come up. So we're going to try to have someone once a month to talk about their maker business, ideally something with open source hardware, talk about manufacturing, talking about all the business stuff that.
Because we talk about it, but enough from us. We want to see what other people are doing.
Yeah. So okay. Next up in the world of electronics, Google released this thing called Google Helpouts.
Yeah, these are interesting.
Yeah, these are interesting, and the thing that we're kind of keeping an eye on is there were, if you go to like helpouts.google.com, if you search, there's people there that are offering their services, and by services, it's you pay money.
It's like a one-on-one thing.
To talk over one-on-one over a Hangout-like interface like we have with our show and tell, and they will teach you to do things. Now, the first things right away that made sense is like, I will teach you to play the guitar, not me, but someone else.
Like a tutoring type thing.
Like a tutoring thing. There's lots of, they have piano playing, they have
like practice a
personal
language.
trainers, like
Yeah.
as in like exercise, and they have all that. And then there was electronics. I searched for Arduino or Raspberry Pi, and if you've always wanted someone to tutor you, this might be a distributed way to do it. We're watching it because we're educators and we think this is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people being like, okay, well, I'll offer electronics consulting or something. I mean, it might be hard to do over video, but it's certainly easier than doing it over email.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So, anyways, check it out. We're keeping tabs on that. Next up, we have a contest going on with EE Times. Go over to EE Times and you can win a Bluefruit. All you have to do is do a caption of this. What is this? What are they saying? Come up with something funny, and we're sponsoring it. We're giving away Bluefruits. Bluefruits are very easy and popular to use Bluetooth, FCC certified, CE.
This
all
is
that
the
stuff.
HID version.
HID version.
This is, we're going to have more than this, but this is our first offering.
Yeah, we'll talk about a new tutorial in the learning system shortly. But Quinn Dunkey, internet famous engineer, she made a really cool Bluetooth arcade controller using the Bluefruit, and she does Bluetooth stuff for a living, and she says, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard and
she does Bluetooth
difficult."
stuff for a living? What did she do?
She said it. I know she doesn't know. Who knows? She does engineering. She said, "I've worked with all these things, and it's impossible to use. The Bluefruit is great," and that's exactly what we like to hear. So, anyways, we'll talk about that tutorial in a bit.
Okay.
Next up, if you go to Engadget.com right now, you can see a 40-minute video with Becky Stern, our director of wearable electronics. She did a talk today at Engadget Expand, and it was a panel about wearable electronics. Check it out. It's all about the challenges ahead, what's going on in the marketplace. Becky did a demo of the Firewalker shoes,
Oh,
and
great.
the GPS watch and everything. And Engadget, I have to hand it to them because most conferences don't do a good job with this, but Engadget Expand did. They had beautiful recordings, and they're posted today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's posted right now.
That's rare.
Yeah.
That's really rare. Usually it's like you can't even get a photo of the event, but it's great that they put the video
and
up.
also Make is doing a really good job too. They're covering the event. They have a 3D printer area, and
Yeah.
it's it's from their test
Okay.
that they did. So
We'll try to go there too.
check it out.
Check it
yeah.
out.
Next up, we just had a giant contest with Hackaday.
Oh, it was glorious.
Yeah, this was a trinket contest, and for folks at home who are just tuning into the world of Adafruit and the maker world, so a million years ago, almost 10 years ago now, I started a site called Hackaday. And I made the logo, and I started this thing, and I wanted to have a cool Hackaday. And at the time, I was told there's no way people are going to share their projects. There's not enough electronics going
You will
on.
not find one hack a day.
You will not find enough electronics projects. Well, here we are.
Now there's like 10 projects a day.
There's a million.
Billions.
Millions of projects a day. And so Hackaday, they have some great new authors there, and we wanted to do something cool. And so we said, well, we can have a contest with you. And they said, well, do you have any ideas? And I said, yeah. I'd like to see the Hackaday logo on small things, big things, everything, whatever it is, because the Hackaday logo became, at least when I was doing Hackaday, kind of the hello world. So like you get like a weirdo computer and you put Linux on it, but now
Or
like
you get like a microcontroller and you blink an LED.
yeah, it's like
or
the
a display and you have to display something.
yeah,
right?
and so the Hackaday logo for a lot of people it became something because once you got your thing working, you had the Hackaday logo running on it. You take a photo, you send it to Hackaday, and they post it up.
Yeah,
So-
because it's the easiest. Because the great thing about the logo is vector and raster friendly,
Yeah,
and it's monochromatic, so it's easy if you're doing like a vector
Yeah.
type thing. Because sometimes you're doing lasers or CNC engraving.
and it's 3D printable. I thought about all this stuff.
It's like and it can rotate very easily.
Yeah,
And it's very simple. It doesn't have a lot of detail.
yeah.
And it's also rasterable, so you can show it on any kind of display or
Yeah.
image or.
My inspiration when I
router.
designed the logo was Paul Rand because he did the IBM logo, the UPS logo, and of course the next logo, the best logo of all time. So here are some
Okay.
photos.
Don't get into a fight over the next logo.
No, I'm just saying it's the best. And so
Okay,
here's
buttons,
here's all the different
CNC,
things.
E-ink,
Yeah,
POV, little miniature.
printed on a key
like
microscopically.
Some gigantic LED wall, on a penny and a ring, on an LED wall, on an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah,
I don't even know, on a laser on a wall, and this is kind of a cool thing, like some sort of 7-segment thing,
yeah,
cut out of some other thing, like a gobo. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't even know.
So
what
it is. There's a lot.
pretty epic.
Yeah. So go to the Hackaday site and
How many entries were there?
there was tons, and there were so many good ones. We all the folks. It was originally going to be 20 winners or maybe 10, and we said, okay, we'll all the great ones. Go ahead, just you guys pick.
Yeah.
And so we're sending out 41 trinkets altogether.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That fits in like my hand, though.
Yeah, 41 trinkets. Next up, on Monday, we had our Macro Monday photo series from John Denier. These are
Yes.
beautiful photos that he takes of things around
Close.
Adafruit or tools or something.
Very close.
This week was the ice tube. So this is a beautiful shot of the ice tube. Great for our product listing. And then some really big close-ups.
Ooh, grids.
Yeah, this looks like the side of a spaceship or something. So those are the photos. Check it out on
Yeah,
adafruit.com.
vacuum fluorescent displays. This is what they look like.
And look
High
at them
voltage.
on Flickr so you can see them in super high res. Next up, Fritzing Friday. I'm just going to
Fritzing
skip
Friday.
around. I'm going to skip around because this one is from John. He does our Fritzing parts.
Okay.
We have the strips. Which ones are these, Lady Ada?
These are NeoPixel strips. I thought we had done these, but we didn't. We had the LPD 8806 strips. So these are the NeoPixel strips. 30 and 60 LED per meter. Well, we made both so you can kind of have one look a little bit closer than the other. And white and black mask, so it looks cool, and you can snap them together. Isn't that cute? You can kind of take them and snap them, and in Fritzing they show up together. Yay!
Yeah.
So I think these are good. These are good for people doing projects with NeoPixels. We had the pixels themselves, the little like Flora ones, but these are now the strips.
Yeah. Okay.
Rock out.
Next up, Packet the Mailbag. Every week, Packet shows up and tells
He's
us.
cute.
Yeah.
Look how happy he is.
Yeah, Packet delivers nice news, things from customers
Okay.
who want to tell us something important. So this week's letter is from Chris. Thanks a bunch. The support from your company has been great. I am glad you have your direct website as well. Lots of cool things. Thank you so much, Chris. Next up, the Adafruit Jobs Board. We have a free jobs board. This is for companies who want makers and makers who want to work for cool companies. This week, this is from the Maker Education Initiative. This is the nonprofit from Make. And what they're looking for is an inventor. This holiday season, a world-renowned tech company is opening up pop-up stores that will offer consumers a one-of-a-kind in-store experience which showcase a variety of leading consumer electronics, encouraging recycling of used electronics, and offers unique in-store programming by way of events, contests, and special discounts. So it sounds like, I mean, who knows which company is? It's a one-of-a-kind thing, but who knows?
Should I guess?
Well, I mean, like, who do you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be GE? Yeah, GE's trying to do a lot of stuff in the maker movement. They want their brand associated with this positive, great thing. Makes sense.
Engineering. That's also invention and engineering.
Yeah, and they're, I think for a while they started to become known for finance.
Yeah.
And like the tax thing that came up.
That's gonna be a car company.
Yeah. So this is a good thing. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Who knows what it is? But
so
anyways.
Yeah, you'll be in-house, do stuff.
Yeah. If you've got
make
skills.
Things. If 2 months, you can like hang out and like do cool stuff.
If you got skills, you can apply. Cool job for cool makers.
New York always has these pop-up stores. I think one of them is in New York, right? One's in LA, one's in New York.
Okay. Next up. We're updating our Cats of Engineering section. We have the largest collections of cats who do engineering. It's adafruit.com/cats of engineering. If you have a cat that does engineering, please send with permission.
Or likes
from
to
the
sit
cat.
on your engineering.
Yeah, so this cat is looking at the Adafruit learning system.
What's the Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, all cats do. Okay.
Cats love tablets.
Yeah. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. We have 2 new tutorials this week. Lady Ada, which one is this?
Okay, this is the Quinn Dunkey tutorial. This is a really lovely tutorial. She took a wooden box. You can get these wooden boxes. She got this off Amazon. You can get it from like a local hardware store also. And she used our arcade buttons and our little mini joystick to create a super cute Bluetooth wireless joystick controller for playing games. And so the game can be on your tablet or your computer or laptop in this case, and you can play wirelessly. And the neat thing is no microcontrollers needed. You just basically solder a wire from each button to the Bluefruit, and it basically just kind of works. In fact, the default key map that I program into the Bluefruits works with like 99% of arcade games without having to even remap the keys. So it's pretty darn easy to use this. And she did a lovely little tutorial. Check it out. If you ever want to build your own arcade controller, you don't want to have any wires, this will work really good.
Next up, this is the servo tutorial. Remember this one?
Oh, this is the continuous rotation servos, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, you can get continuous rotation servos in like standard size, sort of like the big chunkier size. But if you want to make your own custom continuous servo, especially with the micro servos, like the 9-gram servos, or micro servos or mini servos. If you want them to be continuous, you'll have to modify them by hand, or especially if you want a specific kind of servo and you want it to be continuous, because most continuous servos don't have metal gears, for example. Anyways, if you want to make your own continuous servo, you can do that by putting in 2 resistors and like cutting a little piece of plastic off. And this tutorial shows you how to do it. There's other tutorials about this, but this one's particularly good. I really like this one. It's very detailed. So check it out if you ever want to modify your servos.
Yeah, and just a reminder, the Adafruit Learning System has over 350 tutorials.
Is it 350 now?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
probably.
And this is the best collection of tutorials online that teach you electronics. It has projects you can do, skills that you can learn, and we're adding more and more every single week.
It's great.
Yeah, we're really happy with it. Okay, this week we had Time Travel Tuesday. This is when we turn back the clock in the world of making, inventing, science, and even Adafruit. Every few weeks we do
Let's
this.
look at the history.
Yeah. Okay. So 1992. This is an interesting one. So in 1992, beer was discovered. Now, beer's been around for a while, but they discovered that beer has been made for a really long time. So archaeologists uncovered the oldest chemical evidence of beer making, and then they decided to, brew it. So.
They drank it?
Yeah, discovered
How
it
long ago was it? What they were?
thousands of years ago. Yeah.
Probably like 4,000 or 5,000.
We've been drinking beer for a
6,000
while.
years ago.
Yep. Next up.
Okay.
If you ever wondered where time came from, the Greenwich Mean Time was standardized. This is the 129th anniversary of spring forward falling back. People still don't like it. Yeah.
We've been complaining for 129 years.
Yeah. Next up, 1879. This guy,
Oscar
Barnack, was working for a German company, and it was Ernst Leitz Optisch work, and it was a really cool product that he made. It was the first fully portable 35 millimeter camera, and later on, the abbreviation of that company was Leica, and that's where Leica. And that's where it came from.
Okay.
So immediate success, and
Now, I actually have a friend who's like a big Leica fan now.
and Leica's changed photography
Leica.
as we know it.
I guess it should be Leica because it's Leitz camera.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay. It should be Leica, but everyone I know says Leica.
Yeah, all right. Next up, Adafruit history. Last year at this time, we just recovered from Sandy, and we were working around the clock, shipping thousands of orders. Thank you so much,
That
everyone
was a hectic weekend.
who stood by us.
Oh man, I remember
Yeah,
that weekend.
the second there was power, we got here like 5 in the morning just to start. There was no power in New York for like a week and a half, and it was that means we couldn't even access the building. We were checking up on the building for the
we ran out of food.
the facility. Yeah, we're running out of food. It was just like it was starting to become
bad
zombie
scene.
land.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing last year at this time. Boy, what a year! What difference that makes.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a
Next
lot
up.
more space too.
Next up, in 2011, 2 years ago, iRobot CEO was talking about how great it was that the Kinect is being used for robotics.
Yeah.
And this was based on the year before, 2010. We were getting in trouble at this time in 2010 when Microsoft was basically starting to threaten us because we held a bounty for the Kinect tax.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, we released the protocols that we reverse engineered and put them on GitHub for the Kinect.
Yeah.
And then we said, all we want is an open source driver. We were going to do it ourselves, but we said this would be a really neat thing. Caused all sorts of problems, but then in the end, Microsoft embraced it, and now there's an entire flourishing ecosystem of Kinect stuff.
Yay.
Yeah.
When is the next Kinect coming out? There's a version 2, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's now. I mean, Xbox One is out
Now-ish?
now, yeah.
No, Xbox One is what we already had, right?
Yeah, that's a new one.
This is the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, the 360 is what?
Yeah. Next
Wow,
up,
the 360 has been the one that people have had for that long?
yeah.
Oh, so long.
Next up, 2009, we just had published our transcript for Citizen Engineer. For the folks out there who know
That was a
Adafruit
really long
history,
time ago.
yeah, we made a video called Citizen Engineer, and this was kind of the prototype for Ask an Engineer. Citizen Engineer worked out so well that we thought, is there any way that we could do a video every single week that had hacking and cool
Because
stuff?
the Citizen Engineer took us like 4 weeks just to do.
It took a long
It took
time.
a long time. We're like,
Yeah.
we can't do this. And when a company,
Yeah,
it was maybe like 40, 50 hours of work.
yeah, but now what we do is we have our tutorial system, and we do 3 live shows, 4 soon.
Yeah.
And so Citizen Engineer, maybe one day we'll have like, you know, a full-length feature movie every few months. But I really, I like that we experimented with this because that's where Ask an Engineer came from.
Yeah, well now we also have Circuit Playgrounds once in a while.
Yeah, we have our kids show.
Yeah.
Working on all that stuff.
Okay.
All right. Next up, 2004. This was a project that I was working on. I had modded the firmware for these old iPods, and it was for a client because I was working for a company named Fallon, and we had sold the idea of the iPods, the firmware and graphics all being changed and different. And then I was the only one who could do it. So I had like 1,000 of these that I had to just do. I had to charge them up, zap the firmware, and it just said other things than Apple and not Apple anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, not Apple. Okay, next up, Wearable Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we have Wearable Electronics. We have a show, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, and we have a video. This week's video, Becky is celebrating fall. And
It is fall.
And that's why we had the
At least
code
here in New York.
Gourds.
Gourds.
That's why we had that. There's this beautiful photo, and here's Becky talking about
Gourds.
fall.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait to get my hands on some gourds and arrange them in a horn-shaped basket on my dining room table. I'm gonna add electronics, and that is gonna look so seasonal. I'm about to wire up that wicker and fill it with an insanely ornate assortment of shellacked vegetables. When my guests come over, it'll be like blammo. check out my decorative glowing gourds. Guess what season it is? It's fall. There's a nip in the air and my house is full of mutant squash. I might even throw some multicolored light up leaves into the mix, all haphazard like an October breeze just blew in and that's up. And then I'm gonna get to making a beautiful gourd necklace for myself. People are gonna be like, aren't those gourds straining your neck? And I'm just gonna thread another gourd onto my necklace without breaking their gaze and quietly say, it's fall. You're either ready to reap this harvest or you're not. Welcome to autumn, you gorgeous Love, Adafruit.
Okay, and we're back.
Gourds.
Yeah. So, by the way,
I love pumpkins.
Yeah, for the folks at home, there's actually no cursing. We have a version where we unbleep it, and
Yeah, but if it's bleeps, it doesn't even matter.
It was just funny to bleep words that didn't even need to be bleeped. So don't worry, we weren't actually cursing.
Becky would never curse. She's like the purest soul.
Yeah. Next up, 3D Thursday. Every Thursday we have all of the news that's fit to 3D print.
If it can be extruded, we'll post it.
Yeah, two big things going on. One, check the site. There's a new 3D scanner from 3D Systems.
Yeah, it's a handheld.
It's a handheld scanner,
How does that even
and they're
work?
using the Connect technology inside of it. And
Is it really Connect in it, or is it just Connect type?
It's the same company. It's
Oh, the Prime Sense?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. And it can scan objects now.
Big objects.
It'll and we'll see what happens. Apparently, these are going to be in store at Staples on November 18th. So that's the big news.
But it's for scanning like people-sized things.
And there's two options right now. So that one's a little easier to pull off because the resolution doesn't need to be that high. But you could probably scan the shape of something and then start to manipulate it. Now, for smaller things, there's the MakerBot Digitizer, and MakerBot has an ongoing series of digitizer tutorials. So if you're on the fence about a digitizer, you're thinking like, oh, I want to scan all these things, but I'm not sure like how I would do it. So check out all the tutorials. We have links to them, and you can also check it out at makerbot.com.
Yeah, there's the big, and the thing is, I'm pretty sure that you can use files similar to the other, because I think they just give you STLs, right?
Yeah, everybody kind of agrees not to be jerks about this.
Okay, so at least if you have one kind versus the other, you can use the scanners, and then you can use the digitizer actually with like an Ultimaker, for example, or the 3D Systems one with your Form 1.
Yeah, across all the companies.
You could totally have like socially incompatible printers with compatible.
Yeah, it's interesting because
file
I think all the 3D printing companies are just like, look, we're not going to get in that fight, okay? Let's let's sue each other over patents, or let's do something else awful to each other, but not that one, because that hurts the users if you can't have a file that goes back and forth. Okay, next up, Pi Day, every Friday.
Squishy Pi Day.
Yeah. So some Pi news. The first one, the latest issue of Magpie is out. It is a free magazine for Raspberry Pi. It is cool. Get it?
It's all about the IR camera.
Next up, this is a Pi painting. This is a light painting. We did an awesome tutorial, and people are making these beautiful starscapes and more with the Raspberry Pi. Next up, I really like this one. This is a Raspberry Pi project. It's turning a Raspberry Pi into a security camera, because now there's a Pi camera, and it fits right inside of a security camera.
Yeah, they made their own like custom. It's not a security camera. It's actually just like, they're like, well, I just wanted an outdoor camera for like looking at wildlife.
Yeah.
But like this was the best kind of like waterproof enclosure I could get.
Yeah. And then next up,
I hope it's attached to a tree somewhere.
someone used our Pi plate and a bunch of Adafruit stuff, and they made a Pi that controls floppy disk, which is really neat. So it plays sounds and stuff. And then last up, Wozniak.
Not our friend Woz.
This one.
This is a copycat Woz.
Weighs in on the Raspberry Pi. So he says, because they asked him, this is from the BBC article, and they were asking him, what do you think about the Raspberry Pi? And he said, from a very young age on, you don't need high-level math or calculus or the stuff you get at university level. Any young child, even 10 years old, can understand enough to learn to program. And that's the Raspberry Pi. Hook up wires to little motors, and you can build devices to do those things. What an incredible learning experience. Or sensors, or when I say a certain word, it'll turn on the lights. Those are really fun projects for young people. And they're growing.
They were a growing step.
And they're a growing step in development. in the great technologists of the future that build devices we all live with.
That's cool.
So that's kind of neat because that I think is with Arduino, with Raspberry Pi, with all the things like Trinket and Flora. What's like tonight we saw, there was a kid, and the kid was able to make a shirt that glowed with colors because that's something that they can imagine. They
Yeah.
wanted to have a rainbow, and they wanted to have swirls go through. And these are like really young kids.
And these are actually really advanced projects. Like,
Yeah.
they don't seem advanced, but they actually, compared to like, you know, what most people are able to do, they're quite advanced.
Yeah, so it was really neat to see that.
Most costumes don't have LEDs embedded in them at all. I mean, like it's actually really hard to do it for most people. There's a lot of steps that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
Programming, uploading, wiring, you know, battery. There's a lot of engineering principles just in making a light up costume.
11-year-olds are, I think, so advanced, and nothing can limit them now. So I'm curious how they'll do.
Yeah.
Because they have access to all the information, they have access to a lot of low-cost stuff, and the world wants them to be engineers, scientists, artists, everything. Okay,
Totally.
before we go on to new products, Gourds is the code.
Gourds.
10% off everything in the Adafruit store.
Oh my gourds.
Yeah. Okay, Lady Ada, it is new
I
product
know,
time.
I'm getting all these. Okay. My lap, 'cause
New
I
product
don't
time.
have space.
Okay, ready to do this thing?
Yes.
All right, first up, goggles.
Big goggles.
The
Okay.
goggles, they do nothing
No, these
other than
goggles
make
just-
us happy.
They are goggles. So these are
Yeah.
goggles that are for costuming, and I'll show them sort of on my head here so you can see what they look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, these are basically costume goggles. You can wear them over your eyes, but they're not like safety rated. So even though they have like a glass lens and stuff, I mean, I guess, you know, you could wear them for fun if you're like on a bicycle, but I wouldn't wear them as like safety goggles if you're like motorcycling or an aviator or something. And they have tinted lenses that you can see, and then I'll show on the overhead what's up with the tinted lenses, because most goggles actually come with, well, they either come with really dark tinted lenses or they come with clear lenses. So this comes with half tint lens, and I'll show you. So this is like a glowy LED ring, and then when you put it in, it diffuses it a little bit, but you can still see the LEDs. But like you can't see, for example, if I put a circuit board inside. Whoa, hold on. Let me plug in this power again. Okay, back. All right. So if you can stick an LED ring or something in here.
NeoPixel ring fits perfectly in
The
there.
NeoPixel ring fits perfectly. And then you can put a circuit board, and the circuit board does not appear. Like, it's not that clear that there is something else in there.
Yeah.
And that's why we went with this sort of tinted thing. So you could shove batteries, trinkets, or gemmas. And there's a bit of space in here for that. So you can, like, you know, glue something here, for example. Or there's enough space in here for a fairly big battery that you can plug in. So it's meant for a NeoPixel ring, so people who wanted to build our goggle projects. You can remove the lenses.
Yeah.
Hold on. And there's the clear lens and there's the tinted lens. So if you want, you can cut out a new lens if you wanted to from like some laser plastic, or just cut it by hand out of like some diffuser, or a gel if you want to have a colored lens instead of this sort of tinted or clear lens. Up to you. Totally cool. They're fully made out of plastic. There's no foam, so if you want them to be a little more comfortable, you can either cut the plastic or like put foam around them or something. They're pretty basic. They're just for costuming, but for a lot of people, you know, probably pretty good enough for making NeoPixel goggles.
Okay. Next up, let's go to. Oh, you know, I had one image that I wanted to show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is what you can do with them. Do. Yeah. Okay. Let's. We got a battery.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about this battery.
overhead.
So we have more LiPo batteries. The batteries are pretty basic. We've had a couple batteries in the store. We have 2300 milliamp hour, 1200 milliamp hour, 150 milliamp hour, which is a cute little square one, and then we added like 100 milliamp hour, which is a little rectangular one. Now we have 500, so that's right in the middle there. So it's 500 milliamp hours at 3.7 volts. It's a li-poly. It has our nice JC connector. You can use it with our micro LiPo or other LiPo charger.
Yeah.
It kind of fits behind a Gemma not behind a Gemma, behind a Flora nicely.
Yep.
The smaller one, the 150, fits behind a Gemma. This one is a little bit bigger, so it'll fit, behind a Gemma or a NeoPixel ring. It's about like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 5 millimeters. I think 500 milliamps is kind of like a nice intermediary value. So I like having it. It's got the protection circuit here. You can see this.
A lot of focus there. There we go.
The yellow thing, the yellow tape hides a protection circuit. So yeah, these are good batteries. I like these. And because these are fresh. These were just made. This was made October 13th.
One of the things I like about our new slew of batteries is they're the best price right now, the best value and the best quality. We spent forever on this.
We finally, so we've actually gone through like 3 different li-poly battery factories to find this one, and this one actually has been the best one so far. The quality of the batteries are really good. The capacity is really good. They're packaged really nicely, and the price is nice because it's actually a direct factory. They actually make them there instead of like a factory that because we're now buying 1,000 batteries at a time, so we can actually get them at like a reasonable rate because these batteries shouldn't be more than $10. So this one I think is like $8 or something.
Our scale, because we're buying so many batteries, means that we don't have to charge what everyone else charges. We can charge which we think is just a fair amount. So.
Yeah, so it works great with almost everything.
Yeah.
That needs about 3-4 volts.
Okay, next up, what's this thing?
Oh, that is a resistive touchscreen to USB adapter. We put in the resistive touchscreen to I2C or SPI adapter. This one does USB or UART. You can see there, touch. And I'll show it on the overhead. So we don't have any resistive touchscreens in the store yet because I'm still working on that. But this is what a resistive touchscreen looks like. Back up a little bit so you can see a little bit more. So resistive touchscreens, this is a 7-inch touchscreen, which might be, whoa, hold on. It doesn't like it because it's clear. Come on. Focus.
Focus, camera, focus. We're doing a show here.
Oh no. Maybe it'll come into focus in a moment.
Yeah. Usually what I found is when it goes out of focus, if you get closer.
Yeah. It's also delayed, which makes it harder. See?
What?
There's a delay. So.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay. All right, so now it's a little better. Okay, so sorry, that's kind of delay fun. So the resistive touchscreen. Oh man, I'm gonna focus again. So the resistive touchscreen is sort of a glass overlay that goes over a TFT or LCD display.
I believe
and then
it's time to punt on that.
What? You giving up?
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
because there's a delay. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to get in focus. So you can plug it into this connector here on the side, this little 4-pin connector. This part slides in, like so. And then the other end connects to USB, and it just shows up as a mouse, which is really nice because oftentimes there's no way to connect this analog touchscreen to a computer. You need something to convert it from the analog, resistive measurements to like mouse movement. So this is a chip from Microchip, the AR 1100, which is it's actually a PIC microcontroller that they reprogrammed, but you know what? Like, it's fine. I don't care. So it's basically a PIC that's been burned with firmware specifically for reading resistive touchscreens and then converting them to a USB mouse. And the nice thing about this shows up as a mouse is that it works with any operating system. So it works with Mac, Windows, Linux, work with the Raspberry Pi, work with the BeagleBone, work with anything that can basically use a mouse as an input. Tablets, I mean, they already have touchscreens. Maybe you want another one. Who knows? I don't know. Microcomputers, anything. And you don't need a special driver because they show up as a mouse. And then to calibrate it, it actually has calibration software. So if you can connect the screen and the mouse touchscreen to a Windows computer, they have some Windows software that you can run. It's only on Windows, unfortunately. But you can calibrate the screen to the display that it's attached to, and then you save it in the EEPROM of the PIC microcontroller here, and that's what it saves it permanently so that next time when you plug it into any other operating system, it will show up calibrated. So it's actually kind of like an interesting solution. There's other like, converters, but I found that they couldn't be calibrated, or they needed special drivers, or there was like something really weird about them. So this chip I really like because it's pretty easy to use. There's also a UART. It spits out data. I don't know. Like I didn't use it because I'm using it mostly for USB. But if you want, there's like these pinouts here that you can use for connecting to the UART.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah. Next, we got a book. So this is Maker Workbench. This is from Adam Kemp. He is one of the people who writes on our site. And I had introduced him to O'Reilly, which is Maker Media now. And he has a book with Make called the Maker Space Workbench. Tools, Technology, Techniques for Making. So check it out. It's a really good book. If you ever thought about having a makerspace or collecting all the things you would need for a makerspace.
Yeah, this has like wearable stuff.
Yeah.
It has like Arduino stuff, of course. It has 3D printer stuff. It has laser cutting stuff. It's basically like all the tools that you see people using. You're like, damn, those are cool tools.
Yeah.
These this just shows you how to do it. It shows you surface mount soldering, through hole soldering, how to order PCBs, screws, tapes, vices.
Yep.
Drills, every kind of tool that you will get to. It's kind of like a nice little reference.
And he's
for
an
all this.
actual real life school teacher who teaches kids, so he's battle tested.
He
all right, next
teaches
up.
kids.
We have the Big Shot camera. This is camera for education. So this is for the people out there who want to build their own digital camera.
Yeah.
And
No soldering though.
no soldering.
No.
Just pop it together.
Yeah. It's a pop together kit.
And one of the things I wanted to do
Maybe
is,
we can just
yeah,
sort of
I was
fold it
gonna,
up.
I was gonna hold it up like this. So
Yeah, because it's too big to show
yeah,
you. but-
it's like one of those 101 electronics kits, but it's
So,
making your own digital
You
camera.
can see the LiPo. It's just like their LiPo, the
Yeah.
case, the lens assembly, the LCD, some screws. There's a hand crank. I guess you crank it to charge it. An LED flash. I thought was really cool. Springs, spacers.
Yeah, there's a backup power dynamo.
So you can charge the LiPo battery via the
Software
hand
works
crank.
on Windows and Mac. It can
Yeah.
store 120 photos. It has a 1-watt LED. It has a 1.4-inch LCD.
Yeah.
It could do regular panorama and 3D photos, and it has a 3-megapixel sensor. So
Yeah.
that's 2048 by 1536.
So it's like it's not like a crazy Lumix whatever Panasonic camera, but it is you can build a
It's
fairly
cool.
usable digital camera, and it's a no solder kit, but it has a lot of mechanical parts. So if
Yeah.
you want to take a break from soldering and put something together that's more mechanical.
If you have a young person in your life, get this for them because
if they're like, I want a digital camera, you're like, well, you'll have to build it.
because one of the cool things is they'll go and show their friends this cool camera that they made, and then they'll take photos, and then they'll post the photos, and they'll be like, that's the camera I made, and these are the photos I took. It just changes the relationship to technology.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay, and then last but not least, this is my favorite new product.
Rings.
We're selling Stargates. That's right. Jack O'Neill's on the scene. Teal'c's in there. Commander Carter's gonna help you out.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You're making no sense.
Yeah, anyways, these are the 24 LED NeoPixels. These are awesome. We showed a video with these and people freaked out. They're like, I want those now. So
And we're like, we don't have them now, but we
yeah,
have them now.
We have them now.
Okay, so here are the rings. Okay, stay in focus.
I like how the
please.
camera is totally okay with these LEDs tonight, but not like something that's easy. Yeah,
Okay,
look
so
at
you've
that.
got, oh yeah, these are nice. So you've got, these are the 24 LED ring, and next to it, I'm showing the 16 LED ring, just because people are like, hey, how do they look in comparison? And then you can kind of see the 16 LED ring does fit in the 24. People, I don't know why they were asking that, but it does. But basically just a NeoPixel ring. Other than that, 24 LEDs. There's 2 power pins, 2 ground pins, data in, data out. It's a ring. It's circular. Actually, what's interesting? This ring is actually big enough. You can see the measurements on the product page. You could actually make a ring light out of it.
Yeah.
Because we did make a white ring light, but you can make a colored ring light, and it fits around most like digital camera lenses.
Fun too.
Okay.
Is that,
ooh,
look at that.
glowy.
Ooh, glowy.
Okay.
And
Wait.
then it shows that.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So turn that off.
And then we'll show that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
All right.
nice. Okay.
So yeah, nice big rings.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
That was new. That was new products.
Okay, great. Oh,
Okay.
and here's a quick shot of the 12 LED, which is not out yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was it's not out yet, don't ask. Okay, that was new product. Whew. All right, so here's the deal. Gourds, 10% off. Everything in the Adafruit store
Gourd it up.
expires at 11:59,
It's fall.
which is less than an hour.
Mothers
well,
and
about
fathers.
an hour from now. I have. So you showed the top secret. It's not out yet. The 12.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it was in the video.
Okay, so you did that. I'm still working on the coloring book. Here's another page. It's not out yet, don't ask, but it's this is Q is for Curio. I have a robotics coloring book coming out. It's my new album I'm dropping. Yeah. So we had A through Z of electronics, E is for
Yeah.
electronics. Next up is R is for robots.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
There are at least 26 different
What's
robots.
so cool is Boston Dynamics made the Wildcat,
And
and
they
I
took
finally
out
got W. Oh, and that robot is so creepy. It gets ready and then it goes. It's so creepy.
Yeah, I want my robots to like emit
It's-
like diesel.
It's like
fuel.
those jigs off. It's such an awesome weird
It's so
robot.
horrifying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's time to answer questions. We're running a little late
Okay.
tonight, but we're gonna answer questions.
Okay, let's answer a couple questions.
Okay. Everybody, ask your questions. Next up, can we get a 17-inch plus NeoPixel ring to put on car wheels?
No, we can't. Actually, the PCB we can't fit. I don't think we can fit PCBs that big.
Yeah.
Also, you wouldn't pay for it. It'd be really expensive.
Yeah. Oh, 26-inch bicycle wheel version soon. What about that?
You know, again, it's too big.
Yeah.
It's actually even this size is pretty hard because the thing is that it has to be empty. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's empty on the inside. It's not very stable, and the PCB is kind of expensive because it's even though the PCB is not that big, like volume wise, it is big because of all the space it doesn't
Yeah.
get because you have to tile them square.
We're pushing the max right now, folks. We got 24, and we'll see how those go.
I mean, I might make. Well, you wanted a 60, so you could make like a clock, but I'm like, I don't know,
I want. Yeah,
pretty big.
that's what I want. Basically, I just want a bigger Stargate. if possible. Look,
Go through the
want a
Stargate.
Stargate.
Right now, it's a Stargate for mice.
what I want to do. This is a dream, okay?
Yeah, you want to walk the Stargate?
What I want to do. I want a 60 NeoPixel, right? And I want to make a Stargate.
Yeah.
And then I want to maybe have someone else that I know with a Stargate, and we could talk to each other. And it'll kind of be like we have a real Stargate.
You want like a Raspberry Pi, like do a video screen thing?
Yeah. All right.
Do a Stargate?
Okay.
I have not watched the show.
Next up, do you have 1 watt cool red LEDs?
No.
Okay. Where do you get one of those 7-inch touchscreen overlays shown in the new controller board?
From our store soon,
Okay.
but not right now.
Any recommendations for a miniature Wi-Fi module for BeagleBone Black?
Apparently, the BeagleBone Black distro has been fixed as of like a month ago, so that the Wi-Fi modules we have in the store work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Ask the BeagleBone Google
Yeah.
because they won't
Well,
give me any information.
Getting back to the NeoPixel, someone wants to know is why couldn't you have a bunch in going together, like
Because-
nested inside?
Because
it comes up a lot.
inventory doesn't work that way.
Inventory doesn't work that way.
You can't do manufacturing like that because
Yeah.
then what happens if you run out of one size and not the others?
Yeah.
It gets very difficult to
Yeah.
manage. It's actually it makes it so complicated. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And also they don't all fit into each other.
Next up, how do I control 4 stepper motors on a Raspberry Pi? Can it get feedback at how far each stepper has moved?
Steppers usually don't have feedback. I don't know about a stepper driver for Raspberry Pi. We did show how to use a stepper with like an L293D. I think you can control, let's see, you could probably control 2 or 3 like that.
Yeah.
You have to use an IO expander or a different kind of stepper driver. I don't know.
Any good cameras for the BeagleBone Black?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a webcam would work
Yeah,
well.
maybe
I don't
webcam.
know. Yeah.
Okay. What are the RX and TX used for an Arduino? Can a shield do without it?
Yeah, you don't usually connect to it. Those are the hardware serial pins for uploading, so you usually don't want to connect anything to them because that would interfere with uploading.
What's the highest brightness red LED we have in the store?
I think we have the 5mm red ones.
Okay. Next up, will you make a trinket with the AT Tiny 84?
No,
No. Whew, that was
fast.
no. You heard it there
No.
first. Also, updates on Circuit Playground. We're in the middle of a bunch of stuff. We have a CS for capacitor in the works. We're wrapping up our amazing video game that you guys are gonna love.
Yeah, the video game's worth the wait.
Yeah, I might show a preview soon.
Okay.
You're gonna freak out. It's the best electronics video game, and no one is ever gonna try to make anything this crazy. This is all your favorite Circuit Playground characters in a game.
Angry capacitors.
That's all I can say. Okay, next up. How fast can a stepper motor go?
It depends on your driver, but I think they can go maybe 200 RPM, maybe
Yeah.
like 200 to 400. It depends on the stepper motor and the driver, but they're not. Yeah, somewhere like 200, I think.
Okay.
It's a rough guess.
Yeah. All right. Late Ada,
Yes.
it's time to do this giveaway.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're gonna give something away.
Well, yeah, we should.
Trivia question.
We're gonna give away the ring, right?
What are the rules?
Okay, rules are if you've won a fabulous prize from Trivia Question, you don't get to enter again. You won winner per lifetime. And we'll be giving away this NeoPixel ring that I just unplugged from a trinket. You don't get one without the wires. You'll get a fresh one.
Yeah.
Super fresh.
Okay, so here is the trivia question. First person I see in the chat to type it. This is the only way I can do it right now, even though everyone is watching on a couple different things. Here's the question. This famous actress, her birthday is today. She is credited for frequency
How could
hopping.
you not know who this chick is? She's awesome.
Yeah. Credited for frequency hopping. In other words, torpedoes would go and they would have their own frequency and the boat would have another one, and that's how they would be guided. This happened a long time ago. It was a type of
60 years ago.
encryption, and she came up with it. She's one of the people, and they got a
Yeah.
patent.
And there's a very good book about her that just came out.
Yeah.
And we saw a play about her once.
So
So if you haven't won a fabulous NeoPixel, or fabulous prize, you can win this NeoPixel ring if you know her name.
type it up in the chat.
You have to, and you have to type in her full name with correct spelling.
Yeah, this one's got it, and it's pretty close.
Okay.
WB8NBS, Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr.
In fact, the EFF just tweeted this today. Happy birthday to 1997 Pioneer Award winner Hedy Lamarr, actress and inventor of the spread spectrum tech underlying wireless systems. Now, what's interesting is you were a Pioneer Award winner too.
Not for spread spectrum, though.
No, but you jammed it.
That's true. if you have a wide enough band,
Yeah.
you can jam any kind of spread spectrum. Right?
Yeah. So that's tonight's
Just
show.
makes it hard to listen in on it, though. Very smart, very interesting technique. Kind of like a one-time pad, but for
Yeah, it was encryption.
frequency.
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant, and she was like an amazing actress too. This is
Yeah.
why it is good that everyone exposes themselves to science, technology, engineering, math, art, because you never know where good ideas are going to come from.
Yeah.
So okay. By the way, like all wireless stuff is based on that now. Like,
Spread spectrum, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that's how you avoid jamming other. That's how you can have like the 2.4 gigahertz space, for example,
Yeah.
completely crowded with stuff, and also cell phones all use the same bands. How can you have
yeah.
in New York? You have like 8 million cell phones all talking on
Yeah.
like these narrow bands because they hop frequencies.
Okay, that's tonight's show. We will be here next week. Don't forget our 7 p.m. show, Hardware Hangout. Don't forget Wearable Wednesday. It's going to be Lady Ada and I. Becky's on vacation. That's Wednesday at 2 p.m. The code is GORDS. Make
I'll
sure
be sitting in for Lady Becky.
you use the code before midnight, which is 58 minutes from now. We'll have cool stuff ahead, new products. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you all the Adafruit staff who's doing things here, taking care of business every day in every way. Here's a picture of Mosfet.
How cute.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, he's so crazy today.
You must throw up on me today. She did. He did.
I tossed him off the bed.
He
It was
did.
a little traumatic for everybody.
Yeah. Here is your moment of Zener.